And we're back!
And we're back.
And we're back. Wartime Zoom shteig 102.
We're not live yet on Instagram because I have to go live now.
In the
This is here.
of the soldiers, in the schus of the captives, in the schus of Am Yisrael, in the schus of the yeshiva, we should continue being zeichet to come together and steigen the sweet Torah.
Amen.
Over here.
We're gonna have to work on the formatting
Over here, but we're back.
And I did just get a notification that you are live.
Oh wow. Wartime Zoom shteig 102. We are in Maseches Chullin 27b. Over here.
Wait.
So, now if you take a look at the page, you should be able to see the page. But how can I?
You can scroll the page from here. And let me watch that for a second. I want to make sure that it doesn't like throw off the, because it should. No, you're good.
What do I press?
Just the Chrome, because it's a browser.
Okay, so
you're good. This is what I'm seeing right here.
Okay, amazing. So,
see,
this is great, and you can see me. Oh, hey guys.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are holding 3 lines down from the bottom, 4 lines down from the bottom of the big lines. Can you see my mouse?
Yeah, I should be. I can see anything in this window, and I can see you, and it's working perfectly fine.
Circling the daraj.
Yeah, I see it.
Zog the Heilige Gemara. Daraj over Gilila. So this guy is an over Galila. What does that mean? He's passing in the Galil. Passing by. What do you do when you're passing by in the Galil? You stop in Tipari. And what do you do in Tipari? Say a drasha. Daraj over Galila. The over Galila. The Uber Galila. You know? So, he says, Behema shenivres min hayavasha huchshara b'shnei simanim. Wow. Animal agaritas. Ho. You know, like land ho. When you like spot something forthcoming.
Yeah. It's actually also showing me what you're saying.
Amazing.
It's like auto.
Amazing. So I can click back now to
auto captions.
To the guys.
Anything you put up in that window will be.
Where's the chat? Which chats come from where?
So right now, I don't know. We'll have to explore.
Okay, we'll be exploring. Over here. This is already an amazing thing that I got my face in a thing and I got the Gemara. Okay. So now, anything I show. So now I have a question. If I go like this, I can't like.
I see you.
Highlight it.
I see your captions of what you're saying are written in English across the screen.
Gewalt. Shema Yisrael. So behema, an animal that's born from the earth. This is getting into very, very deep stuff. The animal that is created from the earth, from the Yavasha, Hachshara b'shnei simanim, it became kosher with 2 simanim, meaning you have to cut this one and that one. Trachea and esophagus. Trachea and esophagus. So, Shteig, you want to comment on the Facebook video just to see what happens? The YouTube video, this one and that one, this one, and that one. So behema shenivru min hayavasha is huchshara b'tu simanim. Dagim shenivru min hamayim, fish that are born from the water. Hechshiran b'velo klum, they don't need anything. Of shenivra min harakak. Okay, so one, this one, and that one.
Wait, nice. You see it?
Yeah. It says Facebook, this one, and that.
Oh, no way. So it is picking up the multi-stream chat. It should pick up any chat that's coming in from YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook in that case.
But when I type, who does it go to?
Let me see. Did you this one. I see it.
Oh, it happened twice.
I see it.
Okay.
Let me check. I'll check Instagram also.
Yeah. So okay, so we see our Gemara, and it says that the poultry, the bird, is from the rakak, and so therefore it's only one siman. We learned last year that the oaf is compared to a behema, but it's also compared to a fish. And so we say, how? Oh, thank you. Oh, sorry, guys.
Where is the power?
What? This one. And that one. All right. So it says, so we said that a fish is compared both to an animal and, a bird is compared both to an animal in the Pasuk and the fish. The Pasuk says, those Torahs, behema ve'of. This is the Torah of an animal and a bird. And every animal that is alive, that is swimming in the water. In the water. So we learn that it's the middle ground. But now we get some traveler. And he says, la 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 la, just traveling. I have a drasha to tell you. Animals made from yabasha. Yabasha, we know, it means dry. It means dry land, earth. Okay. Shout out Michael Ridley. It's a physics Gemara. We have earth. We have the fish coming from the water. Great. But then the bird is from the rakak. What's rakak? I would say bird maybe from the air. You want to say air? But no, rakak does not mean air. What does rakak mean? What is it, a mixture of air and dirt? What is a rakak? We don't know. We have to blind for now. So they said it's good enough to cut either the trachea or the esophagus. Amar, and we see on our page, it says, Amar, I can't like highlight. I can't show. Do you see my mouse? Like when I'm like showing?
Yeah, you're showing on the Gemara?
Yeah.
It's definitely seen that.
Okay. Amar Rav Shmuel Kaputka. You see that guy? The Shmuel potato? I don't know if Kaputka is a potato. That's just what came up in my mind, maybe because of the potato. Kaputka. But Shmuel Kaputka says, Teda, I'll prove it to you. Shahare ofos yesh lahem kashkashes b'raglehem. Psh, 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 psh. I'll prove to you that birds come from the rakak, whatever the rakak is. Maybe it's like swamp, you know? Let's go like this. I say, how you gonna holler in a whip so swampy? How you gonna holler in a whip, come stop me?
When you put the mouse over here, it could be seen.
Amazing. So the Oved Galilah. That's what he says. And here Shmuel Kaputka says, Shmuel Taterstein, maybe that's his name. Teda, I'll prove it to you. Shai Ophos. Boys. Yesh lahem kaskesas beraglehem. They have scales on their feet. If you notice, the feet of the birds, they have like scales.
Yeah.
You know, the talons, they have like scales, and it's like, what's going on with the feet of a bird over here? Never thought of it. They have kaskesin beraglehem. Kaskesin beraglehem kedagin, like fish. So I'll show you that bird is also kind of like a part of the fish, part of the animal. It's part fish, part animal. Look at their feet. They got
like scales.
They got scales like a fish.
Gotcha.
Interesting. We know the bird, our favorite bird, Ziz Sadai, had his feet in the water, his kartsole, until his ankles or until his knees, until his knees. Okay. So that is the first part. Extremely deep, extremely Kabbalistic, or I should say, Chachmas Hanisteristic. You know, it's hidden. These are hidden ideas here. We have to understand and to learn about the mahus, the essence of animals and fish and birds. Let's see Rashi. So Rashi says the animal that comes from the Yabasha l'tichach yesh lo chiyos, yesh lo chayos bari v'chazak. Since it comes from the land, it is very strong because earth is strong, right? And so it has very strong animals like lions and tigers and bears.
Oh my.
But and the fish from the water, they're very soft, they're very smooth, they're very flowing. I mean, they also have like some horrific animals in there that eat you before they look at you, you know, just gulp you whole.
They don't even have eyes. They can't even see with their eyes.
Yeah,
they got sonar and stuff.
Yeah, there's some crazy things going on, but you don't need any shtita for whatever the madrega of the water is for them. Fish animals don't need shchita. Water animals don't need shchita. But a bird really does live on the water, live on the land. The bird is kind of like an omni-living.
Right.
Well, you know, they don't live in the middle of the water, but they can live in like the sides, you know. And they get there from the Rakak. What's the Rakak? Zog Rashi, Garbila. Garbila is a shetach al sfas hayam. So it's the water. It's on the water river bank. By the way, river bank, currency, cash flow. This is all maritime law nomenclature. Bank, flow, currency, current. If you have money, you're swimming in it. If the money dries up, it dries up.
We are the vessel.
We are the vessel. We are the boat.
Yeah, the vessel.
According to the Gra, that's how he learns. The Rachana Agada does that. The body is the boat, the neshama is the sailor, and Olam Hazeh is the yam.
So maybe the Shiba's trying to be like, let's go hold by the Gra and trick these vessels into maritime law.
Trick you into believing that you, as a yid, are beholden to these economic forces and these maritime law ideas.
Right.
That maybe for the nations that's true for them. You have a special.
Right, and they're up to no good, and I don't know exactly what, but has to do with the Phoenicians, bro. Aye, Captain, says the Gidiyar Zalman. Wait, hold on. Let me get my telescope. Is that Zalman I see down the road? I can't see too good. It's too far, but Reb Yid, Shalom Aleichem. So the fish comes from the middle ground. Teda, I'll prove it to you, Shemin HaRakak, that it comes from this middle ground. Because it's got feet like a fish. It's got feet like a fish. Okay. Taste fish. Taste fish. Teda, I'll prove it to you, says Rabbi Shmuel Kaputika. Shmuel potato. I don't know why. I don't know why I think it's potato. Kapotika. Maybe in Yiddish that would be a potato. Oh yeah, kapotka. So he says, I'll prove it to you because they have scales. So far we've really learned a lot about birds. We learned in Beitza, if you remember, that birds, before they open their eye, there's an opinion of Rabbi Elazar ben Yankiv, who says that they're like a sheretz.
I remember that.
Yeah, we like that one. Birds. And now we're seeing, by the way, pay attention that they have like scales on their feet. They're not so unsheretzdik. So Tema, says Tosfos, it is a wonder. Ma tzarich raya al zeh. Why do I need a raya that they have from their physical, that they have scales on the legs? Scales on the legs. Why do I need a raya? The crux in Behedja, we got a Befeirush Pasuk. It says, Yishritzu hamayim sheretz nefesh chaya. I love a good nefesh chaya. Right? Because, the nefesh, right? The naran chai. I'll say that, and all the mavens will yavin. And so it says that the Yishritzu hamayim, it will get all of these creepy water dwellers. Nefesh chaya, ve'of, with the oaf, right? So let's see that pasuk inside. It's hey, it's in Bereshis Aleph Chaf. Ach, Yoachi. Bereshis 120. Vayomer Elohim, Yishritzu hamayim sheretz nefesh chaya ve'of yofef al haaretz. Al Pnei Rakia Hashemayim, on the face of the Rakia. Not that we're collecting them, but we're a little bit just, every time we see a pasuk that proves the earth is not a globe, we just mention it. Here, Rakia Hashemayim. Al Pnei Rakia Hashemayim. Okay. Let's see, Rashi. So Nefesh Chaya Sheyehi B'Chiyos. That should have chiyos, life. So what kind of nefesh doesn't have life? I know the answer. I was gonna say maybe something inanimate like a plant. But then you say, well, a plant maybe is a little bit adamant. I say even more inanimate like a rock. And then I'll say that everything is chelek Eloah. So nefesh is like the base. Nefesh is olam hasiyah. Nefesh is everything in our world. Everything in our world is nefesh. Maybe.
Well,
maybe. Yeah. But maybe not. Maybe nefesh is like tree. And nefesh chaya is like animal. Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. What you just said.
I just suggested a possibility, but these are huge yeshiva school shalsugas that we're still believing on.
We learned that ki hadam hu nefesh. So in terms of a bull, or an animal, so like the blood is the nefesh. So maybe it is like the force that animates these things. Like in a plant, it would be like the water that's being absorbed and like the photosynthesis. That's like what gives the life to it. Once that's removed, so it doesn't have life anymore. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's a good question.
Yeah, good susha with the blood, nefesh. And so what we see here, that bird is talked about in the middle of the puzzle, talking about water and land. We can hear right here. It's from the Rakak. It says, Al B'nei Rakia Shemayim, and then the next pasuk says, the Teninim HaGedolim. V'ez kol nefesh ha'chaya haromeshes asher shartzu hamayim leminayim v'ez kol of kanaf leminayu v'yer Elohim, and Hashem saw ki tov. Nefesh chaya, nefesh sheish bo chiyus. Okay, Ataninim. Says Rashi, Dagim Gedolim Shebayam. Ubedivrei Agada. And in Rabbi Barchana, Rashi calls it Divrei Agada, about Basra 74b. It says it's the Leviathan and the Leviathan's husband. Shabar, or maybe his wife. The Leviathan and Mrs. Leviathan. Such a yeshivish thing.
Invite them for Shabbos.
Mrs. Leviathan, I'm Mrs. Leviathan. Right? I'll be not neither. All the water would get turned into blood. Right, that's ridiculous. Shabaram Zachar v'Nekeva. They created them, male and female. V'hara against the Nekeva. Killed the Nekeva. V'malcha l'tzadikim la'asid lavo. And salted it. I remember we learned this. Rivka, do you remember where we were when we learned this year? We were at the airport. We were underneath. Like that. Remember we went underneath? In the garage, yeah. That's where he gave this exact shir. Because if they had children together, the world wouldn't be able to stand before them. And it says atininim ksiv. It says plural, but they don't have the yud showing that it was lost. Anyways, it was taken away. Okay, but what do we see? That there's a rakia in the Shemayim, and that the birds are flying above the water, under the rakia. They mention the aretz, they mention the water. So we have a pasuk that tells me that birds are both animal and fish. Part animal, part fish. Why do I need the proof of Shmuel potato head to tell me that, oh, look, they have scales on their feet? I have a pasuk. And for Tosfos, the Maisi Raya, it brings the Raya, to give on the Brias Amayim, Nikeres Bahem, Ra'oi, Lidmosam, Ledagim, Le'inyan Shchita. Because you might have thought to say that since the creation of the water, that's when we know that like the bird is noticeable by them. You might have thought to compare them to fish, the Indian Shchita, and comes Rav Shmuel Potato Head, and he says, no, I'll bring you a raya from the actual bird itself that it is like a fish also. But it's only on the feet. And so you got to compare them to both. But if I took it from the pasuk, I wouldn't know to compare them to both. Right? Even though this pasuk says Shemayim and Aretz, I might have known from the pasuk. But Tosfos says name. Okay. So we could say V'od shalu kasav echad, even though we could see the masha, but let's see a little more. And they asked the pasuk, they Omer Elohim yishutzu amayim sheretz nefesh chaya. Oh, thank you, Tosfos. I hear it wasn't saying PASHUT Herenstein when you in the Gemara, when you in the Tosfos. So the water should crawl with creeping live things. Nefesh chaya, nefesh that has chiyus, as opposed to, we said maybe a rock. We get to Gan Eden and we realize that every rock was like thinking about what's going on, and like it could be like, rock, like, and every rock that we said Torah on was like, shkayach, I'm gonna be a rock for your house in Olam Haba. And every rock that we talked Lashon Hara about, Chas v'shalom, talk Lashon Hara, like talk Lashon Hara, and it'll be like, this guy. Okay, I don't know, but it does say that the walls are going to give edus on a person, la'asir lavo. So we see from here another raya, or indication, that there might be a nefesh in everything in creation. Not a nefesh chaya. What? You trying to be like a fish and a bird and a human and even a plant maybe? No, but nefesh, it could be that everything is nefesh, and that's olam hasiyah. That is the world of action. So it says this, and the bird will fly. Alma, we see, Mimaya Ibru. We see that the bird was actually created from the water. V'chsev vayitzar Adonai Elohim min ha'adama kol chayas hasadeh v'yez kol v'shamayim. There's another pasuk. In the second Maisa of creation. Everyone thinks they're so smart because they read Halachic Man. And they say, I know that there are two different creations, creation 1 and creation 2. And they talk about the difference between man, how it was created in creation 1, and man, how it was created in creation 2. But what about this pasuk over here? In creation 2, Vayitzer Elohim as Adonai Elohim min ha'adama kol chayas hasadeh. Right? See this pasuk? Kol chayas hasadeh. Zalman! Talking about rocks. Zalman says Yaakov's pillows, that they all connected. We see that these rocks over here, they're like, I want it to be on me, I don't want it to be on me. Zalman, amazing to show. Right? Hashem created from the earth all of the creatures of the forest and all of the boys. But wait a second. But wait just a tick. Didn't we say that the water will have all of the oaf, so that the oaf is made from the water and the oaf is made from, but we have a different pasuk in the second creation that the bird is made from the land. First creation, water, but then the creation is from the land. So how do we contextualize this? Alma, we see Me'ara Ivru, from the Shamayim, they were from the land they were created. Amar Lan, what's the answer? Min Arakak Nivru. It's actually from the mix. Wow. So there seems to be Shmuel Potato Head still talking. And so Shmuel Potato Head saw that the Talmidim were looking at each other. They were like, yo, this Rebbe is crazy. Like, what's he talking about? He's like, yeah, is it hard in your face? Is it hard to you guys to understand that I defeated my enemies? Bikesh minamayim nivru. It says he asked that from the water it should be created. V'lama hevim el ha'adam, the crow's lamb shame. Why did he bring him to man? To call them a name. The Yesh Omer B'lashon Acher, and some people say with a different sprach. With a lashon, some people say lashon Acharon. Yesh Omer B'lashon Acharon. Amar lo oso hagmon. He said a different thing to this Roman guy who was asking questions. But the first thing he said in the Talmidav to his friends, Dichsiv al Veiter, right? Vayitzer. It says, Verber Adonai Elohim, Botov Heoz Adal Levado, Eselo Ezer Kinegdo. And then it says, Vayetzer Adam Kol Chai Hasadeh V'Kol Vashamayim Ve'Vel Adam Liros Mayikralo, to see what's man going to call him. Hashem brought it to man to see what man is going to call the animals. V'Chol Asher Yikralo Ha'Adam Nefesh Chaya Ushmo. It's funny because he calls it also the bird of Shamayim. We're saying these birds of Shamayim are actually created from land and water. Okay. So we see this V'od Pasuk, V'od Shalu. So they also asked him. Oh, someone thinks this might call my phone. Not answering during Shir. Middle of Shir. MOS. So Rashi says, who asked? The Shalu, they asked. Right? The Konturikon Hahagamon. Konturikon means that he was this Hagamon. By the way, you know the word hegemon? Yeah. So it's a hegemon. It comes from some Shibud position, yeah. And the konturikon is where we get the English word for konturikon. Is where we get the English word, the Hebrew word for likanter, which is to aggravate and anger. It was some guy, some upsetting Gentile Roman. He was bothering Rabban Gamliel with Shelos Harbe. He was asking him a lot of questions. Vein bebechoros. And they are in Mechekas Bechoros. Vegam Zo Shalu, and this also they asked us, the Hacha Tanya Mishum Gurara de Ophos, and here they taught because of something, I don't know, some dragging of birds. So anyways, this guy asked him more. He asked Rabbi Gamliel, this Apikores asked him. He's like, one pasuk says, and God says, Yeshutu Amayim Sharet Nefesh Chayav Ovi, so we see from the water. But then in Bereshis B, it says, Min Ha'adama, this Kol Vashamayim Alma, we see, from the land, they were created. So, what are you going to do with that? Amar lo, he says, Min Harakak. He's like, easy. From the mix, from the riverbank. Who knows what else Rakak means in Aramaic? Spit. Nivru. So Ra'ei Talmidim Mistaklim Zevazeh. The Talmidim were like looking at each other. So he says to the Talmidim, he says, what? It's hard for you that I defeated my enemies? What in the world? Is it hard in your eyes that I beated my enemies? This is Rabban Gamliel. Rabban Gamliel is giving shir, and he told his Talmid, and so he told his Talmidim, yeah, it was created from the Rakak, and the Talmidim were looking at each other like, what's this guy talking about? And he's like, what? Did I defeated my enemies? Who was his enemy? The hegemon, who's like trying to zug Londish Bambas. At the end of the day, he's just making Torah greater and greater by asking us questions and making us think about it and understanding new levels, right? So really, the joke is on this passerby, or this hegemon, and so. But the students are like, what is he talking about? Is this guy normal? That's they were looking at each other like, what the heck? Amar lahem kasha beinechem shestachisi es oivai. What? It's hard for you that I defeated my enemies? This hegemon asking me questions. And I answered him a bomb answer, a great teretz about that it's from the riverbank. Kasha beinechem. I'm looking in the Gemara, and it says, Kasha beinechem shedachisi es oivai. Bikesh min hamayim. Nivru. So he requested from the water, and they were created. V'lama heviam el adam, and then why did they go to mankind? Likros lahen shame, to call them name. Then in a case you or giraffe, for example. Likros lo shame. So let's see Rashi. V'lama heviam es el adam. Rabbi Gamliel is saying this. Nefesh chayav ve'of alma that maya ibru. So Velama Avian, so we see that they were created from the water. So birds are really from the water. You know, by the way, in they say fins on a riverbed, everyone gingerbread. Fins on a riverbed is because it started from the water, and even pop science will tell us that it started in the water with a single-celled organism like a plankton or something, and then maybe even smaller than a plankton, and then eventually, so it started. And so why was it brought to Lama Adam Ramagamliel Kalaimar Lama Nechtavin Kan Mishum Kriya Shem? Why are they written here? The crows lam shem va'achi kamar vayitzer min ha'adama, was created from the adama, from the land, kol chayas hasadeh, all of the chayas hasadeh, all of the animals of the forest, ve'ez kol ov hashamayim, and all of the birds of the heavens, lir'os ma yikralo, to see what will happen, what Adam will call them. V'lo ayitzirakai. Okay. So it says that Hashem created all of the animals from the land, and it says, and also all of the birds. And he brought to Adam to see what he's going to call them. Says the Gemara that to the Maskana, according to the conclusion, we're not saying that he called Adam called the bird. Sorry, we're not saying that Hashem created the birds from the land. The pasuk is written like this: "Vayitzer Adonai Elohim es ha'adama kol chayos hasadeh." Period. And then that Hashem created all of the forest animals from the land. And then next, even though it's the same pasuk, but next thought, v'yez kol ov hashamayim v'yevi el ha'adam leros ma'ikralo, that the birds were included, not that they were created from the land, but they're included in that they also got called names by Adam. So does that mean that Adam was intimate with the birds as well? Okay, I don't know. If he called him the name, so then seemingly. So he says like this, why did he bring it to them? Why are they written? Not tell me they were also brought from the ground, but to tell me that they were also bought, that they were also called names by Adam. V'yesh omrim b'lashon acharon, amar la'oso hagamon. That this is what he said to the hegemon. U'b'lashon harishon, amar lahen netamida. But the students, he said the real pshat. Mishum dichsev al vayetzer. Al Zog Rashi Mishum Dichsiv as Kol Ov Hashamayim. It says like this: V'ez Kol Ov Hashamayim Al Vayetzer it's in the pasuk still with veiter of the creation. So it's mashma. It implies that Yitzira Namikai, that it's also created from the land. It's also going that Hashem created fish from birds from the land, and also Hashem created birds from the sea. So birds are like really, so fish are like really different than us. You know, we see octopi. It's like they're like so different from us in every way. They have just nothing to do with us. People say like, yo, these octopuses went from outer space. It's like, no, fair pasuk that the birds, the creation of the fish are different than the creation of mankind, like big time. Mishum, okay, Lishna Achrina, Mishum Dichsiv Al, Kilomar Mikra Kama Gufe Mashma, Timina Aret Nivru, Dichsiv Al Haaret, Dimashma, Timina is Avru, because written on the land, that from it is created. Dichsiv Nami Bikra, Basra Vayitzer Min Ha'adama, Zo Shamati V'Rishon Nirveina. He's like, I heard the second shot, but really like the first shot better. Oh, so I was gonna say that there's no sound or something. He's been texting. No, Chas v'Shalom, I should say that. He's been able to hear. What's he gonna say? Oh, he's just sending. Oh, he said the YouTube. About in the middle of shir, bro. You know? If you're going to send anyone in the middle of shir, it shouldn't be that shteig, even though he's a yid. But, you know, he sold his soul to the devil and he admitted it on camera. So, no more videos from him, please. Especially not in the middle of shir. Okay. So, Milshig. Now it is time to see. Oh, wow. Okay, so I can't actually see how long I've been giving shir for yet.
Just show the stream.
Oh, it does. Okay, I saw it. Nice. Oh, you didn't say it was a lab.
We're cooking.
You say it was a lob. Okay, so now the Od Shalu, right? They also asked Rabbi. Rashi says talking about Rabbi Gamliel and the hegemon. Tozlo says the Od Shalu is Perish Kunturikon. I thought the Kuntur is the Kunturikon. Hegemon. So maybe it's the guy's name. His name is like Aggravator. The hegemon as Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, by the way, Talmud of Hillel and Shammai.
Oh.
Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, Talmud of Hillel and Shammai. Rabbi Elazar ben Horkinus and Rabbi Shomechan Abu Bavanya. And Rabbi Yossi HaKohen and Rabbi Elazar ben Arach. And some other people we learn of. The locomotion bears bekunter is not like Rashi says that it was asking Rabbi Gamliel. Like as Rabbi Gamliel ubekol duchti deika in all places that it is shalu aleh kai. It's this question that's going on there. Fa'abagav lo ma'isi hasa. They come over like they did on that day. Shebikol Shas Davi Biyom Shemini Sheminu Bo as Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah Nasi. When it says that day, it's talking about the day that Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah became a Nasi, like it says at the beginning of Perek Tfilas HaShachar. Harei ani keben shivim shana v'lo zachisi shetei amer tziyas zayim alelos ad Shabbat ben Zoma v'darshu Yimei Chayecha Hayavim Ko Yimei Chayecha Levi Halelos V'Chachamim Orim Yimei Chayecha Olam Hazeh Ko Yimei Chayecha Levi Moshe Mashiach. Right? Asks them Ben Zoma in the Gemara over there. V'chi Maskirin. He says, wait, we're gonna have We're going to be mentioning Yitzias Mitzrayim, La'asid Lava, but isn't there a pasuk that says that here a day is coming, and they're not going to say, oh, how great is Hashem that He took us out of Egypt. Ella, how great is Hashem that He took us and brought us in the ingathering from the four corners of the flat earth. Answers the Gemara, not that we're going to get rid of Yitzias Mitzrayim. We're still going to mention Yitzias Mitzrayim, but what? It's going to be tafel. It's going to be secondary. What's going to be Iker beating the Sheba Malchi is what we're doing right now, baby. What we're going to do right now. That's the Gemara over there in Brachos. And now it is time to see der Heilige Masha. Masha.
This has it?
Yeah. Okay. So as I predicted before Shir started even, I think, that I was thinking that we're going to have a Marsha on this one. You know why? Because I saw that it was talking about Godic stuff, and lo and behold, it's on the base simanim. So an animal that is from the Yabasha, is from the dry land, one siman. Two simanim. So now I cannot show the picture, like the daf.
What?
I don't have a marsha. We
That's
do it
true.
in other times.
That's true.
You know, I take a picture of it and then put it up.
Yeah, something like that.
Could we do that now? You think that's possible or it's too cray?
No, it's too cray right now.
Marsha? Too cray right now? Okay. The middle share can't do it? Okay, so come on, listen, everyone. Listen up. Or look up. Rivka. You can see the marsha on here. Man gave names to all the animals. That's why he sent the Bob Dylan. All right.
Is it before or after the Rebbeinu Asher?
Wait, it's after Rebbeinu Asher. Wait, did you hear? Zalman sent not any Bob Dylan song. He said really to the share. Yeah, it's man called animals names. Okay, good to still Zalman. But Bob Dylan, you know, Yira Levidas Achokrim. It seems, according to the knowledge of the researchers, Shekol Yesod Hayoser Rachok Min Hagalgal. So every foundational principle, I guess, that's Yesod, right? That's more far from the Galgal, from the sphere. We gotta see what this Galgal is. From the circle of life. Hu Yoser Gashmi V'chomri. Maybe the Galgal is the beginning of creation.
Cycle, like a wheel.
Or a wheel. But I'm thinking maybe it's farther from the Galgal, like the Galgal is the Rishima, or the beginning of the Tzimtzum. And everything that's further from the beginning of the creation is more physical. Gashmi, the Chomri. The Aretz and the earth, Yesod HaTachtonu, it's the bottom one. What do we say? It's the bottom one. Yesod HaTachton. What do we have? We have the 4 or 5. We have the only time, I mean, they talk about this in Torah sometimes. I know they talk about it. When they have Yerushalayim is connected the fire because we have Korbanos here. Chevron is connected the earth because we have buried forefathers there. Sfas connected the air because of all like the Ruach and the Spirit and the Kabbalah. And Tiberia and Kinneret is connected the water because of the water, because of the Kinneret. So they say the land is the most fundamental one is the bottom one, Yoser Gashmi. It's the most physical. It's more physical even than the water that's on it. Mayim Shalav. V'lekach habehema asher nafsha me'adama. And therefore, the animal that his soul, his nefesh, is from the land, Michomer Hagas, from very, very, very thick, non-refined physicality. Yitztarik lizachech, you need to cleanse it. V'laha'alos chomreha, la'achilas nefesh adam. If we have an animal that's made completely from the earth, we need to really elevate it. We need to really elevate it in order to be eaten by human food. L'achdilas nefesh adam shehu nevragam ke michomer hagas meha'adama, from the adama ubei simanim shenishchatu yizdache chomer habehema. This is good when we're doing shchita. If you want to have Kabbalistic intentions, look no further than the Masha. The Masha is explaining that the reason, this is deep hidden Torahs here. The reason, we don't really talk about the reason behind mitzvahs. Says the Maharsha, the reason that we do a shchita, we have to do a very, very intense shchita of cutting both of the pipes, wind and food, in the animal, is because the animal is the most physical. It's the most gashmi. And so to purify it, we need to give it a big old cut. Lahalos chomra, to be eaten by a human, it calls it lachilas nefesh adam. Shu nivra, it's created gamke mi'achomer hagas, because we also are created from physical me'adama. Ubeis simanim shenishchatu yizdache chomer habehema. You need the two simanim to purify the physicality. Shu yoser gas, because it's super thick. Ki adamu nefesh. Like Schligs pointed out to us earlier. Wow. The blood is the nefesh. Susha Schligs. The ikar mitzvah shchita. What's the ikar mitzvah of the shchita? Lehotzi dam hanefesh. Wait a second. Maybe I should put my tzitzis on the outside of my clothing to learn this Hasidic, Kabbalistic, this Nister Masha. He's saying the ikar mitzvah of the shchita is, and that's actually true. That's halacha. We saw it. The video is going to be released this week in Mirz Hashem. We did the female doc, and we saw the Dama Nefesh shoot out. Yeah. And that's the Iker Mitzvah Shchita, is to take that Dama Nefesh. Right? You got to really take the Nefesh. Aval Adagim, but fish, Asher Briasan Mehamayim, they're created from the water, Michomer Yoser Dak, from the most refined, the most thin physicality. Mit'ala nefesh adam be'achilasan kemo she'hen be'asiva be'alma. So the spiritual doesn't need any spiritual fixing, as long as you can't collect it. That's why you're allowed to go fishing. Rabbi Harry's gonna be very happy to hear this, because first Rabbi Harry was at a point where he didn't even eat any animals, but then Baruch Hashem, after a few years of me knowing him, I was able to get him to. I just came down. I was able to get him. I was able to help him find his way himself into realizing the error of his ways. But everything at the right time, and it wasn't an error. The entire time that he was vegetarian, that was what he needed to be those times. That was about those days.
So some people it may not be an error.
I know. I'm just being silly. Yeah. Making fun of vegetarians. That's what we do. But Rabbi Harry also doesn't fish, and he says he couldn't deal with he didn't like it. Rabbi Harry said he didn't like hurting the worm, And I hear that. I also didn't like hurting the worm. But we see that azivazan ze shritasa. And so it's good. That's the tikkun we need to make for it. Harry could also, someone who doesn't want to hurt the worm could also go with a lure, right? Anyways, v'lezeh ovos shenivru merakak tzarich zichuch b'simen echad kitzas. And so the bird, it needs a little bit of a zichuch and kal lahavin, easy to understand. By the way, just so everyone knows, I also have been vegetarian for times in my life. I experimented with it, especially when I was traveling in Shmutz Laaretz. So that's the first masha, and it's a good one. Second masha, tichziv al vayitzer. I am Perish Rashi, the Parakama, the Parak Basra. To krad the ofia ofev, the bird will fly. Nami mashma dime ara ivri. It also implies that from the land it's born. V'yesh la yashev mashik shu tosfos. We can answer what Tosfos asks when Tosfos says, Teda, I'll prove it to you. We just saw that Tosfos. We can answer, we can yashev, we can sit, we can make it seated. Yesh the yashev. Tosfos' question. Oh yeah. So Rashi says it was Rabbi Gamliel. Tosfos says it was Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. Here's the actual question. Tosfos Ateda Shari Opos is them kaskashin, right? They have scales. Matzarich Raya Lezeh Be'edja Ksiv Yeshutzu Amayim Sheretz. Says it straight out in the pasuk. For Ofio Faith. You might have thought to say that it's only applying that vayitzer l'chud, that it was only applying that birds were made from the land, but it didn't mean that Adam was also gonna sleep with and call names to the birds. Wait, umikoach raya from the koach, the strength of the raya teda. I'll prove it to you. They have scales on their feet. So we can definitely say that that's from both, from the Raka and Nivru. And it also implies that they're from the water and from the land, these boyeds. Okay, we saw the masha on these agaras. What do we do if we want to go deeper? Oh, if we want to go deeper, we get in the agarita, we get an Ein Yaakov. I have an Ein Yaakov. I don't know if I have the Ein Yaakov for Chulin, but I have the Ein Yaakov. It's on when you walk into the base measures, it's right on the left. The Ein Yankiv is. You can get the last Ein Yankiv, but I don't know if I have it on Chulin. In the meantime, in the nice time.
Nice. Healthy, bro.
It's healthy, bro. It's mama's cured. In the nice time, we're gonna see the riff. The riff. Pek Sheni. The riff on Pek Sheni. I love a good riff. Okay, so we have a little chazara to do. Tani Bar Kapara. We actually saw this Bar Kapara thing the other day. Zos Torah's Be'ema Ve'a'ofik ol Nefesh Achaya Haromeshes B'mayim. So this is where we see the chicken being compared to a behema, and we see it being compared to Boyd. Middle of share. You're on live. What's up? Avi Elias is joining us in share.
You're in share?
No, but you're joining us now. So Bar Kapara said, Zos Torah behema ve'a'ov ve'kol nefesh achaya haromeshes b'mayim. This is the Torah of the animal and the bird and every nefesh achaya, every living soul that swims in the water. Hitilu hakaz of la'ov bein behema l'dag. And we see that the bird is between the animal and the fish. L'chayvo b'shnei simanim miyefshar. It would be impossible to obligate it in two simanim, the bird, because it was already compared to fish. Lepotro below klum lo efshar, to say it doesn't need anything is impossible, because it was already hukash to behema. So it can't have nothing, but it can't have two. So what do we do? Oh, you know what I'm going to do? Since we already went through the page, let me go back to scene 1. Shalom Aleichem.
Yes.
This page of the riff.
I'm
So
sure we could find it.
no, we could, but right now we're good. We're good. So what do we do with the Ketzad? Uchshru b'siman echad. So what do? We're machshir it with one sign. Right? It's compared to 2, it's compared to 0, so we give it the middle. Tov?
I just don't know how to climb it in here.
The Reb, go to the beginning of Parak Sheni.
It says Hashok said Echad ve'or v'shnayim.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why does mine look different than yours?
Different Shuras Hadafs.
That's it? That's the only thing?
Yeah, but it's the same thing written, yeah.
And
Okay.
the main body is the riff?
The riff, and then the sides of the Ran.
Thank you.
And actually, you on the inside, you have Rashi. Also on the inside. Me, I have super inside Rashi.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Tanya, Rebbe Omer v'zavachta. Oh, this is the we're not up to that yet. We're not up to that v'zavachta. That's very chavches. Amid Aleph. Okay. So the riff brings the drasha of how do we know a bird is one compared to an animal and it's compared to a fish.
Copy.
Let's see the Ran. Tani Bar Kapara, L'chayvo b'shnei siman v'ema, the nafkalei mikra, Gemara, we're learning from Pasuk in the Tay. Okay. Okay. Da 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 da. Okay. Let us see. Okay, so we saw the riff. We saw the Marsha. We just seen the riff first. Now let's see the rush. Starting at the beginning of the second parak. So I want to see if we can catch and do the whole rush. We didn't do the whole rush in the first parak, but everything at the right time. So go to the second parak in the rush. The rush. Okay, parak shady. Hashochet. In the rush, the first. Hashochet echad be'ofish na'avim meshchidazu kasher v'rubo she'echad kamohu. Rabbi Yehuda Omer ad she'yishchot es havridin. You got to cut the vridin, the veins also, and we saw it in real life.
Oh yeah. The
veins we saw in the picture of book also. So says the Rush. Now remember, the Rambam didn't mention the vridin, I don't think, but the Rush says, Rabbi Yehuda Kaimalan, we hold like Rabbi Yehuda, Kita Amar Perik Kama de Brachos, like we say in the first parak of Brachos. Hizaru, be careful, Bevridin, Kirebi Yehuda, be careful with the veins like Rabbi Yehuda in the Rush.
I just need to see the top. Thank you.
Rebecca, can you get us up Brachos, please? Thanks.
And where are we looking here?
Shani.
Rabbeinu Asher is the Rush?
Yeah, Rabbeinu Asher is the
Amazing.
Rush.
Thank you. Got it.
That's what they call him, the Rush, because of the Rabbeinu Asher. Venira, right? So is Hiru the Vridin? So it says here, Vridin. Venira de Rabbi Yehuda Davka lechatchila kamer. You're only saying lechatchila you have to do it, but it's not me'akev. Aval salu. Oh, this is what we learned from Eli Shechter the Shochet. Salo, if you roasted it. Remember he was telling us the difference between roasting it.
Oh yeah.
Salo b'di eve v'lo nichtechu avridim. We didn't cut the vridim. Shari is permissible, like it is muchach in the Gemara, like it's clear in the Gemara 29a. We'll get to it soon. The Gemara of Papa, because Rav Papa says Reisha b'chulin me'acha. The head is in chulin from here. The Gemara of Yehuda ad yishchot ez avridim until you cut the veins. Upligi Rabbanan Allah, and the Rabbanan are arguing with him on that. V'iyamart, and if you're going to say b'kachim my pligi who atzmo l'damu tzarech, well, kachim is different because he needs the blood. V'i Rabbi Yehuda b'di eved nami aser, meaning Rabbi Yehuda says that also it's aser b'di eved if you don't cut the veins. Dilma lechatchila modu Rabbanan, maybe the Rabbanan agree that lechatchila you need to cut the veins off b'di eved pligi, but they argue, they say b'di eved is okay, and Rabbi Yehuda says b'di eved is not okay. Hilkach nira. The pshitale Rabbi Yehuda lo ka'amar el lechatchila. Rather, it seems that Rabbi Yehuda really just only said lechatchila. V'adadani b'tosefta. Oh, baby. You know these kippahs that stay on your head? Also good for a head scratch without touching the head. Right? The Hadith, the Tanina, and the Tanya b'Tosefta, we taught in the Brisa and the Tosefta. Rabbi Yehuda Bozo Be'ov, is puzzle Be'ov, Ajishchot Avridim. It's not puzzle with the Eva, it's just not, it's also Lechatchil, that's what he meant. Rabbi Yehuda Ad Diyuka de Masnisin Kai, Rabbi Yehuda is making a imprint from our Mishnah. Hashoche Echad Be'ov B'di Eved, Aval Lechatchila, you need to have two. V'li'idach Leshnan, to the other language, Kai. It's Kai. It's going on. Hashochet arubo shel echad kamoho, hu lechatchila by simin echad shalem. The cover of Rabbi Yehuda lechatchila ad sheyishchot asavrit. Rabbi Yehuda is like, oh, you want to talk lechatchila? You got to cut the veins. The gam lashon posel hashinoi hashanoi b'tosefta. Nearly she'en lefarish b'di eved. Then when it says puzzle, it means puzzle lechatchila. The kol hashon puzzle hashanoi etzel shchita hainu posel me'ata ve'en lo takana. Nothing to do. Ve'im lo shachar afridin ad al korchach yesh takana la'of v'chatichas ever. You can cut it piece by piece. The hilchach al korchach ein lefarish ela b'lashon aser. Just say it's aser to do it lechatchila, but it's mutter if you didn't cut it ex post facto. By the way, Zigidari Zawin, I realized that this weekend, that a great translation for B'di'evet is ex post facto. I can tell Oxford.
That's good.
You know, he's Oxford because of his dictionary, and he's Oxcooker because of his profession, because of his lexicon. Okay, lexicon Webster, but later semester I can't find him a mester. Kulo ka'echad. V'im kain ozer lechatchila l'shchot below nikivas avridin. You wouldn't be able to shaft without the cutting, piercing the vein in the neck. Shema yavol itzloso kulo ka'echad. Maybe you burn the entire thing like itself. Hoel shedarcho kain, because that's how you make a whole boyd. V'almashe perash ri, and on what the ri explained, she'im tzalo b'di eved, if you roasted it, b'di eved, complete, the whole thing, it's mutter, kashilon, it's hard for us to understand. She'im ein hadam, shebevridin nifla, because wait a second, if the blood that's in the arteries or the veins didn't escape, right? B'tzli az yechashev keshar dam ha'evarim. How can you eat it? It gets roasted in, you're eating blood. Dam ha'evarim shalo piresh ve'afil lechatchila yehi mutter. And even lechatchila will be permissible below shchitas havridin without cutting the vridin, without cutting the veins. Ve'im eno niflat b'tzli. And if it is not escaped with the cutting, and eno chashuv kishar dam ha'evarim, and if it's not considered or important like the rest of considered like the blood of the evarim, shalo piresh lefi shadam mitkabetz, the blood gathers v'nimshach sham mimekomos acher, when it goes to that from other places. Mididava umtza the ismik, umtza the ismik was that piece of red meat. Im came with the eved nami yehe aser, also with the eved can be aser hilkach, therefore nira lefaresh masnisin lechatchila kamosha perish ri, like the ri says, v'im yatzu shalem aser, and if im tzalu shalem aser, that if you completely roasted it, it's aser. V'achi perusha, this is the explanation. Rabbi Yehuda over ba'ov aji yishkol esafrid lechatchila. Rabbi Yehuda says in chicken until you cut the veins, even if you want to split it up piece by piece, and to cook it, so but since it's the normal way is to bake it, to roast it when you're roasting it all at once, and then it's azar if you did not shecht the vridin, the veins. The listener, the Gemara Muchach Kain, the Ka'amar Lo Amar Rabbi Yehuda Ella Be'of, that Rabbi Yehuda was only talking about a chicken or a poultry. Huavit Soleu Kulo Ke'echad, since the minhag is to cut the entire thing and cook it as one. Lo Amar Levisha Soleu Kulo Ke'echad. By the way, what else do we do Tzliya Kulo Ke'echad?
Blood, but I'm same thing Herenstein.
No. What else, Rivka? What do we burn? The whole thing at one. The whole thing, kulo ka'echad. And also we have to. But also you have to take the outsides and put it on the stick in front of it to be mekayim. Burning it in one full thing. Korban Pesach. Korban Pesach. That's also tzliya kulo ka'echad. But sometimes the person would do that on a bird, on chulin. Since he made a difference between bird and animal, livlog be'of gufei. Make the differentiation between bird itself with whether you roasted it all at one or you cut it piece by piece. Okay, a bunch of Instagram notifications, but I don't know if it has anything to do with going live on Instagram. Am I going live on Instagram? Should I not even talk about this during the thing? Like, how do I know?
You are live on Instagram.
I am?
Yeah.
It doesn't show on my.
You should go to Google Chrome. It shows it. We have the window up, like Instagram live.
Oh yeah, I remember that Instagram live video. Google, Instagram, Google Chrome. Oh wow, a lot of people here. Shalom everyone on Instagram. Har Sinai beatbox. Har Sinai. Hey Siri. Oh hey Siri, make me beatboxes. A lot of people. This one.
Nice.
And that one. Shalom everyone. Okay, so this one and that one. This one. And that one. Okay, great. So, I'm going to put on I'm going to put on, okay. Oh, Yaakov from Zipori says, Shalom Taserap. Well, we're in the rush. And we're going to rush through the rush. Livlog ba'ov tzaleu kulo ka'echad ubein min chaso aver minatcho aver, whether you cut it piece to piece. Yo, peace. PASHUT in the house. Elavadai harika amar, definitely this is what it's saying. Lo amar Rabbi Yehuda only said Ela be'of, in a bird, in a poultry. Ve'afilu minatcho aver, whoever regilus hulitzlos. That's the normal way that we do it, is that we cut. We're ragil to cut. I cut so much. You thought I was a DJ. 2 1 yup 3 SN double OP DO double G. Kulo ke'echad aval be'ema hoil v'derech le'natcha aver. The way to do it is to cut it piece by piece. Lo udruch lishgodes hafridim. We don't care about cutting the fridim because you're going to cut the animal piece for piece, and so there's not going to be a lot of blood. Chetzi echad be'of. So if it's only half, in one half in a bird, one half in an animal, shrita zo pesula. Rov echad be'of rov hashayim ve'ema shrita zo keshera. Now I got to tell you, the rush, it's called the rush because, but also, I don't want to go do so much rush right now. What? Veiter in the rush? The rush goes so deep, there's a lot of reading, which happens to be that everyone in Shir has the rush. Rivka, you open up to the rush? In the rush. Yeah. In the rush. It's before even the Masha. And so the Heilige Gemara says like this. So now we could do more rush. We could rush through more rush, or should I go back and use my handy dandy scene 2? Oh, and we're scene 2. Yo, I'm seeing also. So scene 2 over here, but I don't know if you can see the scene 2 on the Instagram.
Yeah, we have to figure out the Instagram format.
Okay, you want to check on YouTube? See scene 2?
Check it out.
Sky. So now they're going to scene 2. It's because we did so much Iyun. It's ready to go back to the Gemara. Shalom. Just the Raf. Shalom, everyone.
When you do the daf, it's best if you maximize that window, even if you can't see yourself, because then we will all be able to see it.
Maximize which window?
The daf window.
This one. And the data one. But I can like, I don't understand. Okay, you do it, come. Actually, no, don't, just whatever. It is what it is. Can you see it? Can you not see it? This one, this one. Okay. So I wanted to go see the Rambams over here.
This is the one you want to maximize.
Oh, maximize that. Okay.
Now everybody can see your face here and this.
Okay.
This one and that one.
This one and that one. Okay, so we see it says Darash over Gilila. The over Gilila is darshaning. And he's saying, where do we know? And he's really going into the kishkas of the Agadita over here. Yeah, okay. So we go into the kishkas of the Agadita. And we saw Bar Kapara last year that he says, and the Rif brings it. And how do I know fish is one? Because it's compared to animal, and it's compared to animal, and it's also compared to, bird is compared to animals, it doesn't compare to fish. Fish is enough to just capture it. Let's go to Rambam. Come, let us see a Helig Rambam, known for his beauty, splendor, and grace. Hilchos Shlita Berek Aleph Halacha Jamal. Yerushalayim, a place to shteig. Yerushalayim. We're going live. Yerushalayim, Irshal Shalom, Yerushalayim. I want Jello. Okay, so we go to Perek Gimel. And it says, Chamisha Devarim Mafsidim Ashchita. Ah, great. More Chaza. 5 things must mess up the Shchita. The Iker Hilchos Shchita Hizayer B'Kol Achas Mehen. The Iker is being careful with them. And Eluhain, these are what they are. Shehiyah, barking, pausing. Drasa, lopping, loping. Chalada, sticking, and also that the knife has to be visible. Hagrama, we said, what is hagrama like? It's like you're causing it, you're not doing the shchita, it's just you're causing it to happen, like grama, or maybe grama something else. And then ikor, we said maybe is moving the siman, but we got to also clarify exactly ikor. What? Nar? Stabbing was like the chalada, when you put the knife between the things. We'll get it all. Shehiyah ketzad. Oh, great. Let's do it. What's shehiyah? Hari shehizchel lishchol. He started to shech. V'ikbiyah yado. Kodem sheigmor. And he finished. And he picks up his hand before he completes it. V'shah. And he waits. Bein shogig, bein mezid, bein ones. Whether he does it on purpose or not. V'chazar. Who acher, it was him who continued, it was another person who continued. The Gomer has a shchita. Imsha kadeshi yakbia esa behema. If you waited, how long can you wait? In order to pick up the animal, the yarbitzena, and like lay it down, the yishcho shchita basul. So if it's long enough to pick it up and put it down, it's a puzzle shchita. V'imsha pachos mikidei zeh shchita zekasher. If you waited less, it's a kosher shchita. I want to be able to see on my screen all of the comments, whether on Instagram or on. Oh, hi from YouTube. Hey.
I was testing.
Nice.
I'm trying.
Okay. Haiza behemadaga shiura shiya kedeshi. Yagbia behemadaga v'yishchol. So if it was a behemadaga, for example, a small lamb, so it's however long it take to pick it up and put it down. V'ema is a gasa, if it was a big animal like a yak. Kidei shegbienu v'yarbitzena v'yishchol. Like you pick it up and put it down. Ube'of, and how long can you wait in a chicken? Ube'of, kidei sheyagbia behema daga v'yarbitzena v'yishchol. So a chicken has the same din as a small animal. So all that, chazering shehiyah, was just a little chazah for the velt. It really is Aleph Gimel, so I turn back to the correct place. Dagim v'chagavim ain't tzrichin shchita. They don't need shchita at all, the dagim v'chagavim. Ela asifasan hi amateres osan harehu omer tzon v'bakar yishchol lahem matal lahem im es kol dagei hayam yasof lahem dag asifas dagim shchitas bakar v'tzon. And Chagavim, it also uses the word Osef HaChasil, Vasif Alavad. It's enough to just collect them.
I'm setting up a chat overlay.
Oh, nice.
So now everybody can see the chats.
But what about also the chats on IG?
I'm working on it.
Hey.
Yeah.
Just thinking.
It's hard.
Lid.
It's hard. I'm trying to figure it out. Also,
Over here.
the fly.
Don't ask me how I did it. I just did it. It was hard. So Dagim v'chagavim, it says PASHUT Sham. It's obvious over there in Chav Zayin Amud Beis. Dagim delav b'nei shchita nenhu nalan ilim mishum dichsiv atzon v'habakar. If you can say that because it's written the son of the bakar needs shchita im kain dag hayam, so then fish don't need shchita el me'ata gabe shlav. But now over here by the pheasant. Yo, by the way, you get pheasants. You know, we don't even know how to cut bird, how to shech the bird. Now I can get a pheasant. Obviously, I'm still going to be practicing. It's probably wild. A pheasant. Pheasant is no peasant. It's royalty of birds. You think a pheasant is pigeon side? I don't know. The ducks were big. The cock was big. I mean, the rooster. So as shallow, hachinami delav b'shchita. The shlav also is not. It's right. So it says collect the bird. So what? Maybe bird all I have to do is collect it, and I don't have to shecht it. Hachinami delav b'shchita. It's a question from the Magid Mishnah. The Chav, the Magid. Umeshani Yazim, the answer over there, Lo Ksiva Asifa Makom Shchita. No, over by fish, it's talking about collecting the fish in the place of the Shchita of the fish. Of the Asifa of the fish, it's the Shchita of the animal, but it's not written about Shchita over there when it's talking about the Asifa of the Shlav, and so we can't be medayek that only Asifa is good enough. Appears Rashi over there. Asifa didu eitel shchita behema. It's written by the shchita behema. And so we see that the fish is like the shchita of the behema, and that's good enough. Okay, so looking at the time, we might not have enough time to read the Kesef Mishnah, but we might have time to read this handwritten Radbaz. And he says like this, Bekrisos. Oh, that's why I wish I had a shot, but obviously we're not going to have to go into Gemara and Krisos. Now if we would have bothered though to see the Gemara and Krisos before Shia. Ubeshili Eli Trevos, and also this Gemara in Eli Trevos. Vitanya Vitosefta and the Tosefta. Ochel Chagavim Bein Chayin Bein Shechutin. Wow. It says that you can eat you can eat the locusts, whether it's alive or dead. It says in creases, it's good. It's I New Orleans creases. Like we'll put it in creases, New Orleans creases. Talking about creases today, earlier. Just kidding. Okay, but the ochel lav davka ella im achlan chayim eno over mishum ever min achai. There's no ever min achai if you eat it alive. Aval chetchila lo diikabal tishaktzun es nafshosechem. Wow, what a pshat from the Ridbaz. Says the Ridbaz. It says lo tishaktzu es nafshosechem. Don't do disgusting things. Therefore, do not. I knew everyone was gonna like this. This shtickle.
I know this. It's somewhere. It's gonna show up. Like okay.
Right? It says that you're not supposed to. So even though it's mutter to eat a live locust, you shouldn't do it because it's Yuck City.
Mm-hmm.
The Ein Nira Kain Midiver Rabbeinu doesn't look like this from the Rambam. Ela mutar lechatchila, rather according to Rambam, is mutar lechatchila lichtoch mimenu ever le'echolo, so to cut a locust foot off while it's still alive and eat it. So, all of a sudden the Rambam, people love the Rambam until he tells you about. Everyone loves the Rambam until he talks about eating live locust legs. Until the triple L comes into the picture, everyone loves the Rambam. Yeah. Aval shalem, but to eat it complete live, just to put a full live one, eat gamish about the shak too. Says the Ridbaz, I don't have any inference from the Rambam that it should be the case, but it's probably Bal Tashak too. It's probably Yug City to eat it fully live. Like it says at the end of paragraph Rabbi Akiva. That creases. Umi umashikat the Rabbeinu lefichach imezu b'soch hamayim. They died in the water of the fish. Oh, we're talking about a fish that you can eat a fish, a bite from a fish, a whole live fish. If it dies in the water, it's kasha. Why does the Rambam say that if it dies in the water? Right? Why does it say mesu me'elem b'soch hamayim? So if the fish dies in the dry land,
Right.
can't have it?
Well,
No, certainly you can. So why does the Rambam tell you that you can't? Aval, right? It says the Rambam is teaching us that even if it dies by itself in the water, even though he didn't really, he didn't collect them,
Right.
still it's a mutter shchita. Don't think that, I have to collect them in order to eat them. No, even if it dies in the water and you just find it, you can take it. And that is a Heliga Ridbaz. And that is our Heliga Shir.
Amazing.
Did it work?
Yeah, I'm setting it up so that the Instagram chat should be able to appear.
The whole chat, whether
Yeah,
it's YouTube, whether it's this, whether it's
you'll have the chat from, because it doesn't include in this chat.
Stop doing that. So
Stop?
this.
Okay.
We have Instagram, and we have House of Low Assembled, Shalom and Salman. A lot of great yids on Instagram today. Shkayach Gadol. All the metrics. What are those faces per second? Frames per second. How do I see how many people?
This is how you see how many people's live right now. Nobody's live right now, but this is how many people
Yeah,
joined.
you don't have to say that. You don't have to say that out loud. We had some yids. Shkayach to Shteig for helping us with the computer. We went live, so shkayach to the yids that came from Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp, YouTube, Twitch,
Instagram, and that's it. Facebook,
and you can't do it on X yet.
Not yet. We got to figure it out.
I don't give my money to Elon Musk. I will tell you guys one thing. Elon Musk, if you think about it, kind of looks like the Prince of Wales. And I don't mean the current Prince of Wales. I'm talking about one of those old Wales. And I don't mean...
You want to show them?
I just want to see my face.
I'll go to here.
And I don't mean the current Prince of Wales. I mean one of those old Wales. I know a whale when I see one.
I gotta still mess with it a little.
Well, I could tell by the time on the wall.
Boom, boom.
That it's time to wish to one and all goodbye.
Goodbye.
Farewell.
Farewell.
See ya.
Be good.
So long.
Be good.
Adieu.
Stay warm.
Stay steigin. Steigin da.
Steigin.
Adieu manvu. Goodbye until we meet again. Shkayach. And how do I end?
End stream.